All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching us. I'm super excited to be hosting you again live today, the Monday of this week, in the month July 2026. I'm super excited and I'm so glad that we've been able to come this far and I begin sitting in your faces. All right. Sorry. And I begin sitting in across your face, to discuss and share on what I think is a driving and, of course, a prevailing subject of discourse for the course of this week. So we know what it is that we've got to understand and prepare around the market, especially as we are looking forward to making the most of our trading exposure and intentions in the course of this week. My name is David, and some people know me as El Giod, and I'm super excited, as always, to come, share and, of course, discuss, relate, and, of course, connect. And, of course, so we get to trade the market together, you know what I'm saying, and make the most of it. Today, we are having a very great discourse before us. Trust me, it's a very great discourse, and I bet you would appreciate and, of course, agree with me at the very end of this discussion that it is a great discourse. What's this discussion all about? So, this discussion is about what we've tagged and, of course, titled the weekly forecast. So, we are, wanting to get a bit of heads up and, of course, a level of clarity and certitude about the market, beginning from today, Monday, which is actually the weekly candle open, where we have the weekly candle open. So we're looking at the weekly market forecast while we're doing this live stream to see how we can take advantage of the market as at today. A minute, please. I'm going to be right back. Just wanted to fix something right away. Yeah, I'm going to be right back on your faces. Yeah, just one thing. All right, I'm back, and I hope you haven't left any either. So yeah, just a little fix, just something, so we can have a very good chroma in our whole, talk. Okay, so this is actually what it is that I wanted us to really, really look into, and of course take advantage of, which is what I'm probably wanting us to discuss about. That the weekly market forecast, which essentially is we're looking into the dollar index and, of course, several market peers from metals to what have you, is primarily critical to knowing how we would really position, for the market in the course of the week. A minute, guys. I think I'm going to probably be updating my patient, but I really wanted us to do something right now. Okay. Let's update it. Yeah, which is essentially we're looking at into the market. And guys, I'm going to be telling you a very funny story that actually happened today, and it's funny. And trust me, you understand why I say it's funny. I was on a short on Ethereum, and I'll tell you the story. Just stay with me. Just trust me. If you love stories, you want to really understand why I'm going to be telling you this story. Anyways, we would be looking into the market in different levels, and, of course, understanding what it is we've got to really, really, really do for today. So why we do weekly forecasts is primarily when I was leading a firm in Lagos, Nigeria. Anyways, as a senior trader, we have weekly forecasts. What's the intention of this? Of course, I initiated this, so with the team, anyways, so we can see ahead what we should anticipate, understand the 50% chance we have at winning, and also understand the 50% chance we have at losing. Because, when it comes to trading, these are the two 50% that we really have. There is always either winning or losing, good or bad, right? This is just the two extremes at most that we have, and that's why the odds of winning in life is 1/2. Really, but of course there are, cases and, moments where we really have to, trust me, look into this and look into that, and, of course, check what have you, right? Exactly. Other than that, I think everyone already have an equal advantage in that regard of competing, right? I think so, and it's very important for us to understand this. All right, a minute. I want to really open in my iChat. Right, I think hmm. So I'm sorry I got lost in the line of thought and I really wanted to be here. Just really responding to two things while we're doing this live stream, which again I don't like doing, but for the sake of being intentional and multitasking, I just am trying as much as possible to give attention to what it is I'm doing. But if this is your first time joining us, really, I would love for you to drop a greeting in the iChat room. I want to also try sharing this link. Yeah. Hello, Rosine. Thank you for joining. Rosine. Let me also check those who are with us on YouTube. I want to try sharing this link because I think it's important. So everybody is really participating. I'm sorry, I'm also trying to be so sure we are on the same page. Yeah. To ensure that no one is missing out entirely of whatever it is that we really want to pass across. How we can call you? Hi, I'm responding. I don't think there's another. Hi everyone, this is my first time coming here to study. Hello, Catsip ETH. I appreciate you for joining me here. It's a good place to be, trust me, and you'd see how great it is. Really, you would see how great it is. I'm trying to be so sure that our YouTube audience are not left out of the communication because we have different chat points. But again, we look forward to coordinating the whole thing seamlessly, and again we want to really ensure that there is no distortion of any sort in the course of all we are doing. All right, now, like we said, we are having a weekly forecast, and what's the intention of this our weekly forecast? Like we mentioned, it's to let me quickly share this link to the Telegram community. The intention of this weekly forecast is to ensure, which is the word, is to ensure that everyone gets a bit of, certainty of what the market is trying to do. Guys, I've forgotten how I get to share this thing the other time right now. I want to really share my live. Here's settings. No. Yeah, I found it. So we are doing this weekly forecast so we can see, the extremes of what the market could potentially play out in the course of the week and see how we can position our profit making margin in between all of that, right? That's like the primary reason for why we're doing it, right? And trust me, I mean, I think it's kind of important for me to state the obvious, that we are. I'm live here. Let me just quickly drop this. Yeah. And why is it important? It's so that we can, be very much sure and of course certain to the degree that we needed to be certain of, that there's an opportunity in the market and there's a risk we must take, and with proper measures or disciplines that must be fixed in place to ensure that we also make the most of that we have envisioned. So we begin from the dollar index. I want to really do this, but I'm trying to finish up with all this ground thing that we really primarily do, really. And for me, I think there's going to be a drop. I don't know when on Ethereum. Like we drew this somewhere around 6. This point is going to happen, and it could be today, right? It sometimes sounds like a dream, right? When things like these that we're saying eventually plays out, but hey, trust me, that's how it eventually turns out to be. I mean, and I think it's kind of important for us all to, note this ourselves, understand this ourselves, and of course, reposition around this statement of fact. All right. So, by the way, I'm going to tell you the story of Ethereum I was about sharing the other time, and I think we'll position for that. Hope this live session will be very long. Let me just give a disclaimer ahead. Something very much happened to our light. I'm using a makeshift, so I hope this carries, this goes on for like 2 hours or more. But if it doesn't, good Lord, whatever it is we've got to do in the little time we have will be so important and, of course, beneficial to you that you'll bet we spent all the time we're meant to spend. So again, if you've not subscribed on our YouTube channel, try subscribing. But again, primarily if you've not owned, if you're not owning a Famex account, that like you don't have a Famex account, because that's the exchange you are trading with. I don't know what you're doing here. All right, just kidding. Try to sign up and of course be much more, uh, a member. Be much more than just a viewer. Be a member. That's where you show your commitment to our journey by signing up with Femex, as you could see on our LinkedIn, that's the LinkedIn on our YouTube page, right? So, guys, whenever I get myself boxed into so many things, I sometimes get myself saying things that are so beautiful as you all could hear. So it's been a while I actually sat on the dollar. Like the last time I live stream was when I did this, which is a couple of months ago, because um it's a very important tool. So you could see that the analysis we gave still plays out. The last time there's no yet drawing, which mirrors a strength. The dollar is going to probably be taken. I'm going to talk about that just a minute. What does this imply? And how is the dollar going to be gaining more strength? Really, how will the dollar gain more strength? Now, again, that should be a very valid question everyone should be asking right now. How? Because the Trump administration, goes into war. The Trump administration talk a lot. Whatever it is everyone is saying about the Trump administration, that's on them. That's not why we're here. To cherry pick on politics, no, but to look at the charts and of course understand what the market is saying. And again, take advantage of what it is we've got to take advantage of. And why we're going to do this is because once we understand the dollar, we get a bit of clarity on the entire market. Crypto, metals, forex, you name it, indices to a large extent, anyways. So you could see that since 2020 and 2012 and then 2020, the dollar has made critical bounce. Look at that. Let me draw this for you all to see. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to make a post of this, our live session across board. So if you're with me and you're really part of what we're doing and you really support what we're doing, I'm going to be checking the chat room on iChat. I'm not there. Try to ensure you drop a post, right? Like go and tell a friend to tell a friend, post on your Telegram that hey, we're live. That's all I want you to do. That's what I'm trying to also do. Like right now. Yeah, that's why I'm literally on my phone and I really want to make this post right now. I wouldn't want you to miss out. That's essentially why you can see me trying to do. Let me probably close down that quickly and focus on why I'm probably here also. I think that's also going to be so important for us in this live session. Uh, okay, so let's make a post so people can actually try joining. Yeah, so let's try doing that right away. I think that's very much important so people can actually get on board with us. Just 1 minute, please. I'm almost done. Dun. Join me live. Okay, that's the final post I've got to make. Yeah. All right. All right. Join me live is done and it's up. And I think everyone can actually see this for themselves. Yeah. Okay. Good. Great. Guys, now that that's up, I think we have a great. Come on. Am I messing this? Eventually, we're done. I'm so sorry. Just bear with me. Until things like this are done, I wouldn't really be focused. And I really want to get this done. That's a great idea. Thank you. Can we say it's one wave after another. Well, of course, like this folk is asking. All right, I already shared the link of the broadcast. Thank you, CC. Like, thank you. Thank you. I think that's how they do it. Love you for what you've done. I appreciate you big time. Thank you. Right. Okay. So yes, the market is wave in, wave out. Of course, there is ups and downs. That's what the market is built. Um again, the dollar index is a like okay, for the sake of those who want a very detailed story, which I don't want us to get into right now, about dollar index, you can actually come to yeah, the technicals of dollar index right here on right here on trading view, and then you see a bit more detail about dollar index, several things, several ups and downs, and of course summary of several pivots. That's not the interests for which we are here. And again, if you want to check the news, you could always come here on trading view and of course find the news about the dollar index. Yes, it's good. I actually do try looking into the news. You have several sources from Dow Jones News Wires, Reuters, several platforms giving you news, real-time updates about the dollar. But then I keep saying something which I think everyone who really joins me would appreciate as a statement of fact. Let me be so sure everyone can hear me well enough. Right. And what is that? I say the chart is the art of the market. Like the old thing you need to know when it comes to relating with the exact story the market is trying to tell is you looking at the chart. That's the bigger story, right? Like that's a clearer picture. That is what it is. All right. Right. So once you understand what the chart is communicating, then you could make sense of the old broader story that maybe a news is trying to say or what have you. Let's look at the 3 month time frame on the dollar index and remove every of the diagrams. So what do you see on this chart? Like from here, 970, 967, it's been a downtrend, but all of a sudden now here, something switched here. Of course, if you understand patterns in market analysis, you could almost tell that there's an inverse head and shoulder pattern, right? Okay, for the sake of those who don't know what that is, I'm going to clear this drawing and of course draw that here. This is what an inverse head and shoulder pattern looks like. Something like that, where you have a left shoulder, then you have a right shoulder. Then you have the edge, which is literally what you could picture already. Then you have the right shoulder, right? Aha. And what this rule says is this is a very perfect pattern that mirrors a bullish market. And what does this else? Once there's a break above the neckline, which literally should be this, then the market should be pushing upwards and like going upward and upward and upwards. But anyways, let's assume we we didn't pay attention or know much more about the inverse head and shoulder pattern. We can tell just by looking at the charts or looking at the line graph, which I also sometimes do. Please stay with me, don't be in a rush. But looking at the line graph, I can tell, oh, all right. There was a time the market was really cascading, dropping, and now is a time that the market seemingly, what's this? This is dollar index. Let me try typing also DXY chart. This is the DXY chart. And the DXY chart is the dollar chart, essentially. All right. So, sorry, I think DXY chart. Yeah. I think that was the question I was asked, and I think I'm trying to respond. So it's DXY chart. I hope that answers your question, Rosane. So when you look at the chart, you can almost tell, okay, fine. I think by my reading, these markets seem to have gotten to a point of exhaustion of the bearish trajectory it took. So let's say this is a bearish trajectory, right? Allow me to just draw it that way. So I think that's not the best place to put it. Let's place the arrow down. So gotcha. That's good. So you have this like a downward movement. Just imagine that's a bearish, push, and then there was a point the market just wouldn't continue dropping. It just seemed to be trying to keep up, right? Well, especially when you see that, like in this instance, it drops, then it pushes up, then it drops. This time around, it pushes up. It should drop, but then it refuses to drop here. It's rather formed a key level there, right? They call those a key level. And after forming a key level, the next thing it pushes up again. And so now it's forming another key level. And so when you're seeing things like that, you can almost tell that, oh, wait, connecting the exhaustion of the downtrend, refusal to just outrightly drop, formations of key levels. The market seems to be connecting every piece that explains the possibility of the resumption of a new wave. Like someone says, it is the um, wave after wave reality of the market's layout, right? Where we have a bullish market after a bearish market. So CC, I analyze the dollar, right? Because when it comes to the financial markets, you literally sell, because the dollar is the major player for literally purchasing anything in the global market. And so once you understand the direction of the dollar, if it's gaining strength, then you know that every other assets or financial instruments paired with the dollar will be going weak. So if the dollar is strong, other asset like instinctively, well, that's not a rule generally, but instinctively you know other assets will be going down. What does that? What do I mean? Say I have this wristwatch. I don't know if you guys could see this wristwatch. Just imagine you have this wristwatch right now, and this wristwatch, you just thought of it that okay, what I want to do, following my understanding of the provenance of this wristwatch, is I want to buy this with a dollar. So once you buy this wristwatch with the dollar, I don't know if you guys could see what I'm showing. Once you buy this wristwatch with the dollar, what you've just essentially done is you have sold the dollar and you have increased the worth of this wristwatch. When I trade this for the dollar, what I've done is I have essentially sold that watch and I've increased the worth of dollar, which means dollar is getting more demanded in the global market and it's increasing in in perception of strength or whatever. So what does this mean? When we understand the dollar and know its trajectory or projection, then we know that if the dollar is strong, most other assets will become weak. So, like for example, you literally sell dollar to buy Bitcoin. Does it make sense now? Or you sell Bitcoin to buy dollar. Like when you go sell off your coin, literally just bought dollar, right? That's what it means. So understanding the place of dollar is important, and that's why we're doing this. Anyways, this chart is a 3 month chart, Rosane, and your questions are quite great, but they're also much. I'm trying to keep tab with the questions. Bear with me. I'm gonna try to be quick in responding to all of your questions. All right, so just bear with. Yeah, 3 months. All right. Thank you, CC, for getting that. So now, summarily, that's the reason why we look at dollar. Well, it's not a yardstick, but it's one of those pieces. Some people will believe dollar analyzing or the dollar analysis is just a 15% portion of their whole general analysis. And when we're doing a weekly forecast, indeed, then we really understand, we really need to understand what the dollar looks like or could most likely look like on a weekly time frame. Now, since we've understood that, I mean, I don't think I want to really draw the um the trend line I drew, which is like essentially this, where you get to see how that indeed the dollar has actually had a level of demand across this diagonal, right? You know, buying upwards at this key level. And I mean, I think that's obvious and of course profound when you look at that on the market. All right. So I mean, you could see those key levels. Let me Mike, I don't know what's wrong with it. Just a minute, please. All right, I think it's back. Great. So I was saying something. What was that? We need to understand the trajectory of the dollar around the weekly time frame so we can know that we're really preparing for a weekly forecast. So in general, this is what you guys are seeing. The diagonal that you all see, the key level I just quickly marked, is just a pointer to the fact that indeed there is a need for us to understand what the dollar is doing over time. And again, don't forget the thought process that came around this. There is a power plant in this cycle. What do you mean by a power plant? I would love to know what you mean, Ian. Hey, what do you mean by a power plant? Let me know what you're really saying so I know if you want me to comment. Yeah, so that's gonna probably help me. All right, now back to what we're saying. We know this is a point of inversion. You wouldn't mind me using that to using this color or something deeper or darker for that level. That's a point of inversion, is for a buy. And yeah, of course, we have the dollar reacting around these levels. So the interesting thing is this key level pushed this point should have been the point the market sold following this downtrend, but then the market broke out. So should in case someone had actually drawn a trend line around this, all right, maybe there's like if there was, just me thinking, then you could see that the market not only broke out of that point like that, it kept on pushing ahead. Anyways, just thinking in hindsight. So now, but then this is a weekly time frame. If this narrative up until this point is true, that I'm actually watching for us asking any questions. Please, if there are any questions, I wouldn't mind you talking about them. So if this analysis is true, yeah, yeah, that we literally have a bullish market playing out in the court of the dollar based on the Trump's administration post-COVID, realities of the, you know, Biden, Kamala Harris's tenure into Trump's, anyways, all of those, whatever it is that could be explained as factors for that, whichever, if that's the case, then that means that this point is an inflection point. Why is that an inflection point? Now, I had drawn this point to show how it reacted around this trend line. But then when you look close enough, look with me, just look with me, you would see that yes, indeed, this was a point of interaction or interception. But then you have a candle wick that went strongly downwards, as you could see. The market came down very quickly, right? And as it came down quickly, let me quickly turn this to a line graph. As it came down quickly, it formed the body of the candle right above, meaning the market still seemed to be respecting this diagonal trend line. So this diagonal trend line seems to still be in play. So I don't want to write several things because I really have a long way to go. But in general, yeah, you're right, Justin. I think you're the volume guy of last week. I think you're right, very much right. So, the candlesticks, the dollar index, every of those combinations anyone could put together is, of course, just to form a kind of market bias that could make a level of understanding or make a level of sense of the complexities that the market could sometimes, embody, right? I think that's the truth. So, like, I think that's very much important, right? So, okay, okay, okay. Since that is very much clear, guys, would you mind we looking into much more important matters? So I think you have one. Let me just write. I'm going to look into volume, like Justin is saying. So I'm looking at the dollar, anyways. I don't want us to stay too long, but go focus on other things. Diagonal, trend line. You have that. Then you have two. Um, you know, um, price action, price action plus, which is literally we're looking at highs and lows of the market, right? I hope you all got that. All right. Then I hope this live session really stays longer. I hope so. And it's because of the power issue. So, and then three, what do you have? Three, we also have, you know, what else again? I think let's still look at the two we have. The diagonal trend line. Okay, I think the first one should have been what we initially mentioned, the exhaustion of the bearish, reality of the bear market. So bearish market exhaustion. And bear this in mind. This is on the dollar index anyways, so you know what again it is I'm literally talking about, and you could pay more critical attention on that and not just something else, right? So this is the DXY. All right. Now, what do you think this week is likely going to be like? This is a 3 month candle. Bear that in mind. So 3 month candle means there are several price actions, a month, a week that is in there. So since that is pretty much clear, would you mind me coming to the 1 month chart? So look at the 1 month chart on dollar. What does this suggest? Yeah, right. It's suggesting that, okay, fine. In a little way, if I close this, you can see that there's a kind of range between here and here. That there's a breakout of the range, and then the market like is opening a new month candle for the month of July to perhaps continue. Maybe you, maybe not, but then there's a target liquidity right here. I must actually draw this out. So you have the fair value gap there. Mind you, I'm an ICT trader. I look into all of those things. New York kill zone, fair value gap, liquidity on liquidity trade, sessional looks, day in, day out, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. That's how I do trade. I understand ICT, I understand Elliott, I understand smart money concept, whatever it is, I understand, key level support and resistance. So I'm just going to be combining a bit of all of them and just to understand what the market is saying. All right, now this is the monthly time frame, and again, look at the weekly time frame. Not so much stories, but then this is what you see, right? So, what do you think this is portraying? It's portraying that there's a break of structure out of this range, and the market is literally continuing. So the weekly time frame is possibly following this breakout of this key level. I don't know if you could see that. See, this is a breakout of that key level, right? It's possibly, going to be pushing ahead into this key level. From here, right, from like $100.886, could be pushing into the $103 mark. Dollar has been very much unstable and it's almost not clear, but then that's the summary. So in essence, our weekly preview is a bit of, it could be stalling. Please bear that in mind. So I think this is one of the exemptions to our 50% certainty of what the market is going to probably be doing. Well, yes, I get you, Justin. Yeah, the trend formed by several consecutive candles. Great, yeah, great. So this breakout that you all guys are seeing, for me, would literally be a fake out, not a real breakout, as the market could also come down here. The three possibilities in essence, with the exceptions of stalling. So the market could stall, which is essentially me saying, let me pick a, what tool is that? A brush, yeah. The market could stall like this, like that. It could also come down like that, and it can also go up. So any way the market gets to react, right, still is not out of sync. We just have to be prepared. So should the market, so this is it. Let me give you the preparation of the dollar index. The market dropped, should the dollar drop below this point, 100.57. Will it drop below that point? Then you know that fine. This is a sell. Clearly enough, you don't need to know. It's a red zone. It's a sell. And of course, a clear push above this point, this candle, because this candle is a decision candle, it's a buy. Right? I don't know if you could see that. Oh, so this is the deciding candle. So if the low of this candle gets taken at 100.575, or its high at 101.3470, then we know that the market is either buying or selling. So you could almost tell by just looking simply at either of these. All right. I hope this makes a lot of sense for those who are perhaps listening to what I'm saying. You know, right? Okay, so I'm gonna be taking a break. I'm actually having I'm actually wanting to go shut down something I have turned on. I'll stand up in a matter of minutes, and I'm gonna be right back. Just bear with me. So yeah. So this is what I was explaining, so you understand the expectation of what dollar is gonna probably look like. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and keep on our page on Telegram. All right. So now this is what we mean, right? Perfectly spoken. And I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. Okay. Now, dollar is likely going to go upward, which is my expectation because of this push and this rejection. My expectation is this for dollar for those week. So that's our weekly forecast for dollar. So now we're done with dollar analysis. And this is important because like it gives us a bit of heads up into what we think we want to see the market doing because of the whole market analysis. So would you mind we looking at the crypto market? What is crypto doing? And it's already 15 minutes to the New York session open. I'm going to be taking a 2 minutes break. I'm going to be right back to check again if our power is sustainable to continue while I quickly shut down what I was going to shut down, right? I'm going to be right back. Yeah, that's it. So let's just enjoy the live session. I would be looking for, okay, thank you. I understand. Great. Thank you, CC. So we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. First, let's start with Ethereum because it was the asset I was trading. And my leverage was actually high. So I actually saw profit, but then I didn't. That's the story. I'm going to tell you the full gist in a matter of time when I come back to look into the weekly forecast. Don't forget, it's a weekly forecast. We're going to be seeing a trade opportunity, and every time we get to trade, every time we get to analyze the market, we will look for trade opportunities. That's the truth. But again, know that primarily today we want to focus on the weekly forecast. Again, you're welcome, and I'm super excited to be hosting you yet again. I'm super excited. Like, you need to know how excited I am. So please stay with me. We'll be right back joining you on screen. Thank you. right, we're back from the break, and I think it's important for us to stay connected in a very, very close interval so we can remain consistent in the course of our communication. What I just learned was really helpful, and I hope it will be great for trading and help us make more money. Thank you, Sip. I appreciate. I mean, the way your guys are really engaging in this community is really mind blowing. I must say, it's very much uncommon. Like, it's not common. Okay, so let's look into the Ethereum market. So this is Ethereum, and from the last week's candle, let me just shut down everything I drawn. Last week was bullish, guys. Last week was bullish. Ethereum is been up from this low point. How many percent upwards? About 25%. Right. It's been this up. Guys, is Ethereum really going to be retracing, or is it really going to be pushing upwards? What's been the reality in relation to the previous candlesticks that Ethereum has had? What's been the reality? What should we think of Ethereum? By the way, you must bear in mind that this is a bullish engulfing candle at an inflection point. You know, when I was looking at zinc and aluminium, which are of course metals, when we were trading on the London Metal Exchange, I realized for those kind of pairs that having a bullish engulfing candle or a morning star, morning doji star, as they call it, you know, at an inflection point, having those kind of candles at an inflection point really begins a new level of rally, like a new bullish move. I'm telling you, right? So now for Ethereum, there are several things to really check. Now, for instance, Ethereum has no business, by my own opinion. Ethereum has no business coming back to these levels. Now let's start with this. So you could see that there's a very huge fair value gap right here. Are you seeing this fair value gap that was created in 2020 at mid-COVID? This point, I'm going to turn this to the buy zone. I have different colors for them, right? Just so we could be consistent in our communication. And by you looking alone, you should be able to get. So this is a very huge fair value gap. Let me draw it perfectly, right? And it's perfectly drawn when the previous candle week and the successive candle week, you know, is perfectly measured, and just the space between those candle wicks, you know, the previous and the successive candle is essentially the fair value gap. So this is it. That's liquidity. So where was Ethereum touching later on? It touched briefly here. Well, for us, we believe it has taken liquidity resting here, but that doesn't mean it can take it way more later on. It can because there is a midpoint of that liquidity, right? You could see that's at $800 primarily. You could see that right now. So come with me back to where we were. So we were somewhere here. You know what, guys? And I think let me use a different charts. Let me leave this one. Let me use a different chart so that we could leave those drawings we had on that one for consistency's sake. I don't believe I don't have a drawing. If I'm going to clear them off. Yeah, let me use this for crypto. All right, so just for consistency's sake, let's be very quick. We have a very long way to go. After Ethereum, we're going to look at Solana. All right, I think we've drawn the fair value gap perfectly. I'm looking forward to your questions, and of course, knowing if you have things you want us to clarify. We're going to look at the coin to trade to read today. I'm going to look into that anyways. So there you have it, 800 to the midpoint. But then you see the candle wick really, you see that? It really peaked the liquidity resting below here, but not in full, which means there are possibilities of liquidity resting at the $800 level. But that's not the real entire picture or story we want to really make you guys understand. Now, look at this point, look at this point, look at this point. What do you see? All right, so what you'd see is that there is a key level that Ethereum is been keeping, right? Exactly. So, my God, yeah, yeah, that's it. So let me use a a green color is fine. So you see, at that level, it has been buying. At that level, there's been level of buys. You see, at that level, there is a sale. So it's an inflection point, and that's a critical point. So it is natural for anyone to expect Ethereum to have bought from that point. But now, this is how many times it has tested that point. So 1, 2, 3. Mhm. And this reaction was not, it's not come with the expected volume. Now look at this. Let's do a successive expectation. Oh yeah. Now you could see that there's a triple touch, and there are several rules and school of thought around touches. But then once there's a triple touch, because we only have a double top or double top, which means the market should buy back. So once it touches here and this full body of the candle form, everyone knew that this next candle forming will take us upward. And that was what led to the 2025 bullish new price discovery levels for Ethereum, right? As Ethereum really made a very interesting it got to $5,000 by approximation. I mean, and of course by liquidity anyways. So some certain exchanges are their liquidity going into 5K. But essentially, let's give Ethereum $5,000 because primarily this is almost like this is just 4,954. Anyways, yeah. So double bottoms, double tops give a buy and sell respectively. So double bottom give a buy, double tops give a sell. So we've had this first, bottom, and then we had the second bottom, and then the market bought. This is the third one, guys. I can tell you for free, this is going to sell. Now, I don't know when. At least this level will be broken, will violated. I don't know how. I'm sorry for using the word violated, but that's the best word. This is just an instinctive reaction by what I understand based on that rule. And I'm not saying that rule is absolute. Anyways, please understand this. This is probability. Okay, so now come back with me and let's continue. So since this is triple touch, and it's triple touch means that it's either the market just is creating a fake illusion, or the market is about to present a new price discovery for the bear. I think the latter is most likely. Yeah, which is we're gonna probably be having something like this happening in the next couple of days, and from here we might just go up. I don't think Ethereum will actually get $1,000, but I think it's probably gonna come take at least this liquidity, and then maybe from there we top up, we move up. Anyways, let's not be excited, but that's the truth. So at least this is a key level, and we think it's gonna be validated based on the rule of three. Based on the rule of three. Based on the rule of three. All right, so let's bear that in mind. Now, since we understand that our rule of three is likely to give that, let's try making a case for the bullish market. So this is the case for the bullish market. So I think looking at both cases and knowing which case outweighs which other case will help us know what we're going to be placing our bet on, right? So I think, yes, we're making a case initially for the bullish market by saying we have a bullish engulfing candle at an inflection point. Bah! Are you saying that this is a bullish engulfing candle at an inflection point? But then, after the bullish engulfing candle is successfully made by this last candle, we saw that this candle, this 1 week, and then the second week candle gave us the move. We've seen 1 week, we've seen second week, and then there is nothing like that still giving us a move. Take note of that. This is after establishing that the market is bullish in this case. This candle established a bullish market because this is like a picture of a morning doji star. You have this very midpoint doji or indecision candle in the middle, a bearish candle, a huge one, a bullish candle to the right, a bearish to the left, and then following those candles will be a move. Now we literally have established a bullish market here in this case with a bullish candle scenario. Now, how do you believe you understand what I'm saying? Right, so this is a bullish engulfing candle, which is the bullish market type or typical scenario establishing candle. Just like we have it in this morning doji star, in a sense, permits me to say it that way. Where we have an indecision candle in the middle, then a bearish candle like that, then a bullish candle to the right. Yeah, established. And so since these both are established, nothing is going to probably de-establish them, right? That's like the word. Again, what I'm going to probably do right now is you're watching me, because I already think I'm so certain of that we're going to be selling. I'm going to be opening the charts. I'm going to explain my reason, but I want to open a 25% short at the moment on Ethereum. Yeah, a 25% short on Ethereum at the moment. And back to my story on Ethereum, I was on a short on 1,874. I was on a very huge leverage, right? Anyways, so it's funny. You don't see this charts because it's not here. But then the thing is, I didn't close the profit, and I was just carried away doing other things. I was writing, doing other things. When I later realized, because I didn't lock profit, which I should have done. Meanwhile, New York session has started in other news. I just noticed that the market really has, like the market has taken us, to a very unknown zone. Like our profit have turned to literal loss. Anyways, let me put a 25% short at the moment, as you guys could hear me say. For the financial advice, please, I always say that at every instance I'm getting to make a trade decision right now. So I'm going to look into the market and, of course, a proper breakdown. But then the weekly time frame here does not suggest to me that we're going to be extremely bullish. Why? Because the rule of impulsion or progressive bullish market, as we saw here, didn't apply here. Why? The bullish market was established at this candle, and the next two candles, which are these candles, I want to be so sure you guys could see that. I don't know if you guys could see that. Let me just use an arrow. So this particular candle established the bullish market. Right. And then the next two candles, which is essentially 2 weeks later on, it was going to probably let us know that it's a bullish one, because we had God candles and, of course, a continuation. And maybe that's the same case here. This particular candle, this bullish engulfing candle, established the bullish market, and then the next candle went up. I think that's a scenario around that inflection point. So whatever the market was doing at this point, or is doing now, is only perhaps giving us a moment to buy back. I'm not joking. So it's giving us an opportunity to really make some good buybacks, right? Yeah, I think so. Oof. Guys. So, because of that, we already see that. Okay, maybe I should write out this. Maybe I should do some writings so we can check bullish case. Of course, I would love for y'all to tell me what y'all also think. We're going to be making a case for both. I'm actually scared this week, and by scared, I'm not afraid, but I'm like concerned that may also affect the stock market in general. Just kind of my thought anyways. So we're going to be looking at the bullish and bearish case. I wish I could actually draw a table. Let's do it that way. It did. Okay. Yeah. Right. I think that's making it better for us. So we just have our writings better positioned. All right. So boy, oh boy. Sometimes you just wish the market is even hearing you or understand what you're saying. I'm not joking. Just look at that. Ethereum just really jumped up now. Oop. And again, that's just the New York section reacting. Grabbing liquidity, I'm still thinking this is going to probably be a sell. I think so. I could be wrong, but then let's continue anyways. Don't forget, we open a 25%, 20% entry, shorts the other time. I'm going to be showing you that also, opening my... I'm adding on that 25% right now. dollar cost averaging. I mean, y'all already seen how we're going about a trade. Let me check in the comment section what I get. Okay, breakout liquidity trap. Drop your bias and your validation level in the chart. I'm gonna drop that. So yeah, I'm gonna buy Ethereum. I'm gonna talk about that. But then for the week, this is what I think Ethereum is gonna probably. I think this particular candle, I could be wrong. Yeah, bear that in mind. So I mean, don't forget this is a key level also that the market is reacting to. Yeah, just to clear the air. This was a broken point, like it was a key level. When you look at historically, the market is like reacting to that point. They could see the market at some point, sold from that point, bought from that point, right? And that's where we are right now. The market's reacting to that point right now. So you could see that. As it's reacting now, it got to this fair value gap zone, and then boof. I would have maybe I'm wrong, but then I would have really believed that this is really giving us a reason based on ICT that this is outrightly buying upward. If the body of the candle had closed inside, but then I think it's still not wrong. The market could actually still good. The market could actually still buy, but then I think this rejection is something. The rejection that didn't go above the range of the fair value gap, right? You could see this range of the fair value gap right there. That's the range between here, right? Between there and here. This range, you know, between the successive candle wicks. That's the range. It's been struggling, but then it got here, and then this where it is. Okay. Fine. So nothing is yet solid, but then the weekly forecast is my thought. I'm just hoping I'm not reading into the market. But then for the bullish case, which is what we're trying to make, we saw that sorry. So we saw that the bullish engulfing candle, right, didn't lead to a bullish God candle, right? Something like that. Very important. So that's like thought process of what we think first from that, right? So I mean the bullish God candle. Okay, this is a case for a bearish market. Sorry, I'm wrong on that. This is a case, yeah. For the bullish case, it is at an inflection point for historic buy for the ETH price chart, for the ETH price chart. So I think that's it. So yeah, that's one case. I mean, we already established that it's at an inflection point, which is literally this point, right? Great. And for the bullish market, we felt, oh fine, this bullish engulfing candle at that point didn't make reason for the formation of the God candle after 1 to 2 weeks. And by the way, we are already like at a third week, and of course this might be an exception. Like again, I say there are always exceptions to rules. So this was when the bullish scenario was established, and this is 1, 2, and this is 3. By the previous rules, we saw that at the second week at most there was a buy. At the first week there's a push like that. So that was why we felt, oh fine, this might not be what would happen like that, but again it's still going to eventually buy. I believe all of these thought processes are coming to play. I'm going to zone down into the lower time frame and of course understand what it is. And if the next candle completely engulfs the previous one, that will change your view. Yes, of course that will change my view. If this next weekly candle, it's going to change my view. And of course it would. I mean, it would. Once it swallows this, it's going to change my view. Like, oof, totally. Like, finally. I'm not even joking. I want to believe you guys understand what I'm saying right now. There's a strong between the price trend of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So will their trend be strong in the future? I'm going to be checking that. Just a moment, please. So, guys, now that I have just one cases for the bullish and bearish, I think it's almost like a 50% chance for going long and going short. Anyways, so what else do I see from these right now? Well, Ethereum has been short for how long? Let's check. It's been how many days? Bro, this is like 350 days. No, in fact, more than 315. This is like 336 days. And so I don't know if you could see that 336 days. And of course, this is a bearish market reality post bullish markets. Yeah. How many days was the bearish market of 2022, which is like the real bearish markets we've literally had, in recent times? So this was from 2021 January. So how many days? So I think it's gonna probably stop here, or we stop it here. I think we should stop it here. This is 378 days. So this is 378 days, and we've just counted 336 in the one I measured, meaning that we are literally at the closure and final end of the bearish market. And at this point, any short should be any short someone wants to take should be very much risky, or would literally be risky, because hey, what should we do if we encounter a one-sided market? Just stay, don't trade. If you encounter a one-sided market and you're not sure, liquidity not deployed is liquidity preserved, right? That's how you go about the market, and that's how you're pretty sure of what the market is going to probably be doing, right? Once you have everything, right? I hope that answers your question. Once you don't do anything, you have everything, right? You have your peace, you have your fund, you have everything, right? I hope that answers your question right now, and I really do hope that answers your question. By the way, if you're watching us from YouTube, let me check. Oh man, we had 3 views on YouTube. All right. Yeah. So for me, as I try to look at the market and of course relate to what I think market is doing, I think really it's a very critical point, and we're already 336 days into the bearish market at its tail end already. The buys are getting set. So I mean, this is on a weekly time frame. Thanks, Ella. I appreciate your comment. So that's the truth. And hey, if I'm gonna be, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna do that. I've done about 30-40 hours of research on several coins, and I'm gonna be talking about them. Why? Pick them little by little and talk about them, so we can actually check if they align with our principle for buying altcoins, and perhaps begin to make some picks. Important, because I think this particular bull market is the only one we're gonna have with institutions in there. It's going to run from 2026 Q4 till 2029, essentially. So it's going to be a long ride, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on it. That's the truth. So join me tomorrow on BitChase Show, this same time. It's going to be like 12:30 p.m. UTC on YouTube, on iChat, anywhere. And we're going to discuss, because I think the more we discuss, we get more clarity on what the market's going to probably be doing. So the number of days we've gone into the bear market is giving or making a case more for the bullish market, right? So there is no case for the bearish market to continue. So there's none. There's none. I mean, that's my take at the moment. There's none, right? For us to think the bearish market has a case right now. So we literally have 2 cases for the bullish markets, which is why sometimes you tend to want to jump into making decisions and say, yes, I think I know what I'm doing. The market is going to buy. right? But then there's still more to look into. We've got to look at some indicators. We've got to look at volume, like look at institutional buys, right? And I think that's what our live stream, um, that's the live stream, you know, in the course of I think it's gonna be like Wednesday. Let me confirm that. Yeah, we would do on-chain inspection, right? We look at outcome intelligence and of course check what each persons are doing. What is BlackRock doing? What is Grayscale Invest doing? Okay, so yeah, let me just give you a quick rundown of how this week looks like. So tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to be doing a deep research and early opportunities hunt. That's what we do on Tuesdays. Then Wednesdays, we're going to be having macro news and volatility. So tomorrow is where we do deep research. So look forward to me discussing something around, institutional, positioning, right? Institutional positioning around this time. Yeah, so we can know what it is they are really doing. Yeah, right. So we can know what they are doing, and of course know if it aligns. Suddenly, if it aligns with our principle of the bullish market, right? Great. All right, guys. I want to believe you guys are following us on our show. Please, if you aren't, why? Try to give it a like. And since I've given you a rundown of what we're going to be doing this week, again, let me just probably say that again. I'm going to give you a rundown of what we do every week so you could see how important every day is. And the following day is not a repetition of analysis and charts. There are moments of discussions and connections. And again, I would really want us to make it much more conversational. So Mondays have a weekly market forecast, giving us a clear heads up for the week. Tuesdays, deep research, early opportunities hunt. And Wednesdays, macro news and volatility. We've got to check the forest factory, the United States government news page, and every of the, senatorial decisions that has to have that got some things to do with crypto. Then Thursday we look at smart money analysis. All right, fine. And each of these days we're going to be making trades, by the way. Anyways, then Friday we're going to be doing a trade performance review. We'll be reviewing every trade we took. I think that's important. By the way, we've added more position to our Ethereum. I hope you guys have. Don't mind my reasonings around why I think we're going to probably be shorting, but then I think we've given enough discourse around why the market is going to probably short. I want to believe you guys have positioned well in that. So it's going to be like a very ridiculous one, but let's just make more continuation in our discourse. Please be with me. Don't leave. Let's be on the same page. Let's continue. So I was saying that we don't yet have a case for the bearish market in the course of this whole thing. That's what I said. Right. So just go check the market. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I think it's going to make more sense. Thank you, Cat Sip ETH. But then the name is so funny, Cat Sip. Anyways, thank you, man, for the comment. So this is weekly purview. What is our weekly expectation like? Sell. So if this candle engulfs this one, like goes above 1943, forget it. I think we should be expecting Ethereum to climb into the 2000-ish, like 2200-ish zone once that happens. What do you mean to help you on the same page and you get that? Boy, oh boy, we've been up now for close to 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I think it's a miracle. So let's just keep going anyways. Okay. Have you signed up on FameX, guys? I think I'm going to stop right now before I continue and begin to talk about why you need to sign up on FameX. We trade on FameX. Okay, let me show you the trade we currently have open on FameX, so you know that I'm not just making some random words. Okay, guys, let's show them. Let's show them. It's important because they have great liquidity, and of course you could trade TradFi because, like, hey, I'm gonna analyze gold anyways in the course of this market. I'm gonna shop with gold. That's the only meta I'm gonna probably analyze it. And if I could check one of these, currency pairs, I'm gonna look at Euro USD. I look forward to doing that because this is what I would love to do in the beginning of a week, right? Okay, so I think let me just show you. This is FameX, and this is the trade we currently have. So David showed them what we currently have running. So this is FameX. It's coming up in a minute or 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I hope you guys could see that everywhere. Yeah, this is Femex. We currently have a trade running, as you all can see. Yeah, we have an entry position, interestingly, averaged at where's the entry price, cost price, amount, mark price? Wait, where is our entry price? I'm trying to make sense out of it right now. Entry 1871. Okay, that's like the cost price. Fine. We ended at 1871, because we kept on buying at different times. And of course, that gave us a form of discounts, of a sort. I think that's pretty great, in my opinion. Okay, fine. And since that's very much great, I think you guys could see that we currently have this position running and floating and playing on Femex. So yeah, you could trade several assets. That's where we have our trade. That's what I'm trading, right? So this is why I'm saying you join me, right? It's not me saying Jack and I'm doing, something else, right? This is it. By the way, there are traditional financial instruments there, which I think I'm going to probably look into in a matter of time. I haven't yet interacted with the prediction market yet. I don't know how that, runs. I know how prediction market works. We're going to have time for all of this. Trust me, we're going to take things and beat. It's a long time ride, and I want you to enjoy this just right now. Important. Yeah, I think it's important for us to sort of say that. Okay, guys. Now that we've had enough of showing you guys Femex, would you mind me coming really back to the chat and continue the forecast? Apologies, I'm gonna really be right back. Just show you what it is I think of the market as we are preparing for the week. I think okay, apologies, I'm gonna probably get that turned on right now in a matter of time. Now the market is a respecter of no persons. And if you just don't know what you're about doing the market will get you in your zone. Like that. Okay. Guys, why is this thing not loading? Okay, fine. Right, so this is where we were, I guess. I think. Fine. Bro. We've really survived a journey. I tell you, you might not believe it, but then this is a serious journey. Our power is a miracle. Anyways, don't mind me. Is this market really still dumping? I think it is anyways. So that is where we are. We're trying to make a case for the bullish and bear. And so for the bear, we have one case. For the bull, we have two cases. So now, this is what we're saying. We are going to look into this sessional break. And don't forget, we give a call for a buy. Anyways, so this is a daily time frame. And the daily candle open is this. By the way, daily candle has opened, having it open at for Ethereum anyways, the open for the day is at 1087.93. The high is 1894.70. I really wish I hadn't closed that trade the other time also, right? Because it just went up briefly. I ended at 1878 and I was, why is this market going up? But I was so lost in what I was doing and I didn't even wait to check. The market now is dropping. Anyways, I would love to see your reactions, guys, because eventually, once this market gets to 1740 today, y'all guys will think it's magic. Thank you, Katsip, for liking my point of view. So the fact that we got to this key level and the market reacted and not break, this was a suspicion I begin to have around the market. So this key level reaction, so reaction at the fair value gap key level at the point of break. So this is the point of break. Now, believe me, this is a point of break. There was something that broke here. That's why I see this huge drop. This reaction around this point without a pushing above, right? It's something that everyone who knows ICT and everything about price action will want to look into. So let me use an arrow to make you see. Oh, let me use an arrow too. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna call this a point of, what am I drawing? This is just wrong. I was gonna draw it like that. So let me just write in between point of break. That's what we call a point of break. What are we saying? That was the point the market broke out of this supposed psychological zone, and now the market is respecting that point of break. Now, this is a case for the bear. The point of break seem to be holding. Why? Because we have a bearish engulfing candle forming around that point. Now, you once you see it, hey, you can't unsee it. Do you see that? So there you have it. Right. All right. So anyways, let me just probably make this bigger so everyone could see that clearer. Make it reduced. Okay, maybe I use this. Now, do you see the point of break and the bearish engulfing candle? So there you have it. The bearish engulfing candle. Maybe I should zoom this more closer so everybody can see. Bearish engulfing candle around a point of break. Make sense? All right. So I think it makes sense. Yeah, we are still on ETHCC. It's interesting, isn't it? We haven't left for the past 40 or 30 minutes. I'm sorry. Whenever we're making a weekly forecast, we just want to sit around the market like that. But then, in the middle of this, I've been so fair enough to tell us what I think the market's going to probably do this week. Right on, without me telling the story and what have you. So we've been talking about the market selling right from 1874. Right. So essentially, the point of invalidation is right at the peak point of 1930. Right. So there. And where is the take profit to reward risk ratio? Right. We're going to be doing this. So just know that at 1763 is a good point to exit. We're still running. It's not a financial advice. And so trade carefully. Don't over leverage, overexpose your trade. You're welcome. So I think this is what I really have to say for now. So now let's go make the case for the bear. So the point of break was respected by the formation of a bearish engulfing candle. Make sense? Oh yes, makes sense. Right. Let's write it. Candle. So yeah. Where is our chart? Why are you that far away from us? So what? Can you please increase the ad row below? Thank you. So we have no case for the bull yet. I'm going to probably check. But what do we have for the bear? Point of break expected at the point of FVG inflection by the formation of a bearish, bearish engulfing. What am I doing? Yeah, something like that. I think that's great. We are not yet done with the summary, but then this is already like a ride. There is no story for the bull. All right, let's even look. This daily candle. What story do we have for the bull right now? The story we're making for the bull is not yet really seen. Why? Because this eye is not yet taken. If this eye is taken, then we have a story for the bull. But now we only have a story for the bear because on the daily time frame. And by the way, that candle we're referring to here, bearish engulfing candle at the daily time frame, right? So point of break was respected at the point of FVG inflection by the formation of a bearish engulfing candle in a daily time frame. Right. So I think that's also important because daily time frames are very much stronger, are very much a stronger time frame in relation to other lower time frames, say 4 hour. And of course, they are also seen by the majority as a higher time frame. Great. Meaning the emotions around daily time frame are way more valid. Are you thinking of the emotions that are printed in the 1 hour candle or 30 minutes candle, right? Okay. Fine. I get that. FVG means fair value gaps. All right. So let me just probably write that. Fair value gap, or sometimes liquidity zone. Fair value gap. I mean, it's a value gap because liquidity are resting there. So that's what FVG means. So let me just write it on the thing. Right. Oh, thank you, Lord. Good God. So, right. I hope that makes sense right now. Yeah. Okay. Now, since that's very much clear and we're right here, want to see how this ride is still going to be probably sustainable. But then once you understand Ethereum analysis, I think you could understand what happens to Bitcoin because they're literally going in the same line. I think that's what someone says here at the time. They literally are going the same direction. Once you know Ethereum is going down, Bitcoin is likely going to be going down. Anyways, at least to some degrees. So now, don't forget we have an analysis here, but then this is what we're focusing on. And I think with these, we're gonna. I don't think I have any other case. So the fact is, there's a fair value gap right here, meaning there's a liquidity zone waiting for us. That either the market is going to buy or sell afterwards. After getting to that point, I can't tell if it's going to get here and then buy or sell. So this is my expectation. Could be wrong, and then this is the reality. Should the market drops, should it drop to this point, right? It can do like that. It can go like this, like go up, right? And it's gonna just sell. But either ways, I'm thinking it's gonna probably come down. My thought, anyways. And so, if that's the case, then of course that implies all of these liquidities will be haunted. Haunted by me, I mean, will be taken. Yeah, And so this is pretty clear, guys. What we think is gonna probably play out. Does it make sense? So right now we have 2 cases for the bear and 2 cases for the bull. And in a matter of fact, it looks like that's all we can actually get right now. Maybe I should look at the 4-hour chart, and also maybe there's gonna be like some more stories. So the thing is, it's gonna be like a sealed scenario for the bear. Take note of my word and the use of word. It's gonna be like a sealed scenario if this liquidity gets taken. So once this point gets taken, I'm gonna call this point a decided liquidity. So why is it decided liquidity? Because the market has rejected that point in previous time, and that's why you have seen the candle weak rejection. I'm going to be taking a break soon, but then I think I want you to understand what my thought processes are. So once the market manages, if it does that, drops like this, I want to tell you that it's going to come for this, and of course this, and maybe it goes back up or it goes continuously down. Anyways, that's the current situation of things right now, and I hope that really makes sense. Anyways, our forecast for the Bitcoin and of course crypto market by extension is at this point in time, and by this point in time, I'm referring. I want to believe you could hear me. All right, I'm referring to 2 p.m. UTC. The market is going to be bearish. Could be change. It could change in the next 10 minutes anyway. Just know that. And for your stop losses, I already told you what your stop losses are going to be like. Right, so don't leave your stop losses to chance. Okay, so let me bring you guys to the volume on Ethereum. Leveraging coin market cap. Let's look at the let's look at the volume, right? So maybe volume is going to give us a chart or something. Let's look at volume. And again, we already have a 1 hour candle closure, right? Yeah, anyone is forming fine. I don't think, let me check. This is what we have currently right now. All right. Okay, don't forget, by the way, we've had a bullish, it's been like a bullish market. You could see higher highs and higher lows, highs and lows. And so that's also a case for the bull, that we are at a critical midpoint in between the high and the low of a sustained high and low. It looks like the market is resuming a bullish trend right now, but then it could be reactive. I don't know if I should leave it as that. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think we should look at the volume. Let's look at the volume. I really wanted to look at what the Asian market has done by plugging in my session indicator. So for the Sunday market into the Monday, Sunday was essentially a ranging market for the whole of the sessions, right? And then we can see for ourselves that London session bought, really. So for the Ethereum dump that I literally saw that I should have taken, it was Tokyo, and I should have just taken that. London bought, and this is what New York is doing. I don't know. Tokyo dumped, London bought, possibly, guys. New York might range, because if and of course it could also buy or dump anyways. But I don't know if this was a manipulation which is distributed, or which New York should consolidate. But either ways, that is not the bone of contention. I just wanted to see how that looks like also, and again a mental picture of what it is we're drawing or driving at. So I want to bring you guys to CoinMarketCap so we can actually potentially discuss the volume. Boy, oh boy, there's something that's happened to the volume. I'm going to be showing you that. So let me quickly bring you guys on board here so you could actually look at the volume on Ethereum. Once I bring you guys here, I'm going to be right back. I want to go grab a cup of water. I'm going to be right back, and of course move my leg a bit. So what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Look at the volume. Are you seeing the volume? Can you all see the volume? I don't know if you guys could see the volume. All right. Oh. Okay, guys. Right. I think I can actually, but then I think you should be able to see that also on your end. I mean, it just wouldn't go beyond that for my screen. The volume went up by 52%. Let me check if that's what you guys could see. Yeah, which cryptocurrency are you paying the most attention to today? Well, we are paying attention to every cryptocurrency. Hello, Kiki. Thank you for asking. We pay attention to Bitcoin and, of course, Solana and Ethereum and what have you, right? Several coins. But then, primarily because of the sake of this analysis we're making, we're looking at Ethereum to understand the broader, price action of the entire crypto market. Does that make sense? All right. So Ethereum's volume is up. What does this mean? And how will this, impact our decision for a review or a trade closure in the already open trade? I'm going to be right back in a minute. Stay with me and don't leave the screen. Drop your thoughts and questions in the live session, and then let's make the most of our discussion. Thank you so much. I'm super excited. See you soon. Yeah. All right, guys. I think it's so good to be back again on your faces for the last minutes we have in this live session. So, as a matter of fact, we see our trade running, and those are the two states of cases we currently have as regarding the crypto market. For Ethereum, we can see there was a 50% volume increase today alone, which of course definitely explains why Ethereum pushed quickly at the New York Open, today. I mean, at the London Open, sorry, today. Ethereum pushed so much. For God's sake, it really pushed so much from that was around $1,859 or $1,860. It pushed to $1,890. That's what Ethereum did, guys, and I think everyone saw that. So essentially, I'm not making things up. That's to tell you that volume has its place, but then the volume is not sustainable because apparently now Ethereum is dropping in price, anyways. Still tentative, but that's the fact. So this volume play, I don't know where that came from. I would definitely want to check. You might also want to look with me tomorrow. We're going to be doing our on-chain investigation. I'm not going to be explaining volume and open interest today. You would want to be there tomorrow. And why am I putting all of this conversation like that? It's not because I couldn't say them right now. It is because I think so we can have a holistic and robust understanding of the subject of discourse and a practical application of what it is we're addressing, so that in a very personal way, you can always look into this subject yourself and also apply them. Make sense? You're welcome. So let's come back into what we're looking at. So for the 24 hours price action, this is what it looks like on CoinMarketCap. And I mean, I think just a moment. The money flow would be able to trace all of those tomorrow. Trust me. All right. I'm trying to look into the social insight also to see what we have as a prevailing mind share and thoughts around several people. Yeah, so this is what we have. 33 minutes ago, Bitmine bought 430 ETH last week. Now, take note of this. This was purchased last week to bring its total holding to 5.7 million ETH. This news was literally released today. Why is that? Because just to tell you how psychology and, of course, the media plays a role in creating some illusionary pump, especially when those pumps are not sustainable and proven by price action. In a case where the market does not continuously buy, those news are just put out there to drive the retail into buying. By the way, you must always ask yourself, am I retail? If you're retail, you always stay at the tail end. Clock that. Come back here with me, guys, and look into the story. So you have Cointelegraph also saying grayscale plans. Yeah. Or is any has added? Now, these are very random questions you're asking, Kiki, I must tell you, right? But then the fact is, there are several news. News are just stories, right? Some might not be facts. And when it comes to really plugging the place of stories or informations into charts, you've got to sit with facts, because only facts and charts make some bit of sense. I'm gonna be right back. I think just a moment. I think I'm gonna probably touch this light. All right, great, thank you. We're really wrapping up. In fact, the fact that we stayed this long, it's a miracle. I wasn't even expecting that our power is gonna keep this way, because our sustained power got down. We already got an engineer to come help us fix it. So, anyways, let me thank God, friends. And so back to the question Kiki asked, I believe that there's a place of news or stories or informations. That's the best way I want to view them, informations, in the chat, but let them be facts. That's how you can actually make the most of the analysis you're doing. So these are news from CoinMarketCap and Cointelegraph. So you see Cointelegraph news saying Grayscale plans quarterly payout to ETHE, which are almost like in all of these ETFs for ETH and G Soul shareholders from Neds, ETH, and Soul staking rewards. Again, it looks like, oh, people are buying, but then really, they just giving some news. Whales are accumulating ETH, a newly created wallet with you 10,000 ETH from Binance and staked it. Again, these are the news you have for today. We're going to watch many of these realities and, of course, stalk these wallet addresses. Which deserves more attention today? BTATH. I really don't know. It depends, and I think it's very subjective. You might be focusing on stalking ETH all day, like we literally are doing now, but then you could tell generally, Bitcoin is still the parent crypto, like the primary crypto, like the premier crypto, and it's the cryptocurrency that is like an household cryptocurrency valued as an asset more than several stock in the New York Stock Exchange. Make sense? I think we've had enough of story and, of course, plugging all of this fact and looking into volume. Let's come back to the chat and, of course, wrap things off in the next 10 minutes. Guess where the price of Ethereum is at right now, guys? All right. Ethereum is at 1,855. Nothing supernatural or wonderful, but that's the current price it is at. And again, we're just trying to keep things simple and, of course, emotionless as possible. Now, we are in the shorts. If you took the short with us right at the point of this live stream till now, you're in a win because Ethereum, it's been down like 1%. If you're on a 20x or 10x long, you're almost at 10x profit, which is way bigger than what you could get from a bank in a whole month. So take your profits. Please don't be in a loss, and let's not tell a story that touches. I beg you. And I'm also begging myself to take those profits as a proceed. But again, once it gets here, jump out of the market. Jump out. Now, I know it's going to probably drop here, but you might not be, having the chests, and I'm using the word chests, or mind enough to watch the market go up and down and play all forms, all manner of mind games with you. Think about that. And so be much more intentional about you looking into the market and, of course, understand what it's all about. I'm going to be right here with you for the longest ride. And again, I think we've looked at the crypto market generally. We've understood what it is that we wanted to see as related. This is one of those so we've looked at what we wanted to look at as related to the market. Why is it not allowing me to? Yeah, thank you, Sissy. And I think I wanted us to do one more thing because we're looking at the market forecast. I wanted to look at gold. We've looked at crypto, so by Ethereum, y'all already know what the market is going to be doing. Let me look at XAUT or XAUT, or the most crypto platforms call it XAUT, sub XAU. The prices varies. But you know what? Let me just use the gold price standard from TVC. Sometimes I use FXCM, but then on several floors, sometimes I use XAUUSD. So I use, other times I also use Fusion Markets. Yeah, I do use Fusion Markets. It's currently sitting on $4,000, guys, and we're looking at the weekly forecast. So what is gold going to probably do this week? But we are aware that the Bank of China and majority of these big banks are pulled out of allocating paper gold to retail buyers, and they're preparing their vaults to having real way more tons of gold. Again, like, my perception and understanding of that in relation with several global analysts' purview is that's going to occasion a new price discovery for gold. Because I must tell you, there was something that happened in 1968. I'm not going to talk about that now. That led gold to price discovery levels, and it brought out the real price of gold. There are many inflation, illusion, you know, bloating and bubbles that are currently in the financial market. And I think the reality is going to be set on us. By the way, you can actually tell this is not the chart I actually had for gold. Let me look for my gold chart. Oh my god, where is that chart? Is this a chart? Let me first look for this. Is it this? I think maybe it is. I'm not so sure. There are drawings and you might not understand. Okay, let me just help things and make things easier with you guys. Let me just use a different chart. One that will make things easier for us all. We're stopping on gold today. We might not be able to get into by the way, you see gold has been down from this top. So those who have held this position on gold, they are milking gold, having dropped 1,400 points. That's a lot of money. Even if you are in a 0.01 lot size, that's huge. You could almost tell how much that's going to probably be giving you. That's in like 4 figures of profits, right? Yeah. And of course, just imagine 10 lot size, crazy. So, but then there is a way more interesting thing happening right now. Amid the Ukraine-Russian war in 2022, gold entered some new price discovery levels, right? Around this 2022, that was when the market really went whoop. I'm not going to give you so much stocks because I want to keep things simple and wrap things up as quick as possible. So you could see that gold really went up. See that? Are you saying that? It really went up. So this was 2022, right? This was the time gold really made some very crazy move post that war, and of course it went up really crazy. So if you'd ask me, where is the low that sponsored that old market high of gold? This is the low, and I'm not going to do so much of talks today. Okay. But then this is it. I'm not going to be talking about we buying gold because we're not going to be trading TradFi today yet. But then this is the low. This is the market low. For the sake of understanding, let me just use a right low. That's the low that sponsored the old bullish move, bringing gold to above the cross 5,000. And I tell you, that's like the highest you'd see gold in a long time now. Right, it's crossed 5,000. So if you're going to be asking me, let me just use this. If you're going to be asking me, I'm telling you this by my gun box. Now, this is a very interesting, edited kind of Fibonacci that I have to understand the level of retracements I should be looking forward to in the market. So by this, I can tell you for free, easily and confidently, and quickly at that these are the levels I'm targeting for gold for any buy, meaning, like it or not, gold is probably going to play its way into these zones. Those are my next level of buys. Whatever it is I'm going to be doing with gold right now, I'm going to be looking forward to see how I can capitalize on finding the exact point to drop more sales. Well, you could tell gold has really made a very great break of structure by getting out of this zone. This is a shift. It is a break of structure. Now, that has happened. And since that has happened, what next do we think gold is going to probably do? Probably a retracement. This is a high, then this is a lower high. You can tell. I don't want to go into all of those stories now because of time. This is a lower high. Right. And since that's a lower high, then it's possible that we have new discovery for retracement. But again, many things must be combined. And we don't have exhaustion in this candle. We are seeing the market just sort of fighting its way to break into this liquidity, right? And again, these are more reasons to reconsider on thinking there will be a retracement. And even if there will be, maybe there's going to be like a tap of this liquidity and a rise in here for a continuation. So for my own weekly power view on gold, that's what I think. This week is going to be like a new price discovery levels, and there are more the chances for gold taking the lows of the previous week at 3,964 and gold possibly dropping to 3,700 zone. Tapping into this region is more. And I think that's it about our analysis for metals and cryptos and the dollar index. I would have looked into Euro USD, but time is not going to be afforded. It's not so much available for me to do that. Do you think this is accumulation, or are we about to get a breakout? Who's leading the market today? BTC or ETH? I think ETH is leading the market today as per price discovery. That answers your question, Luna. Thank you for asking the question. So regarding my thought on, is this accumulation or are we about to get a breakout? Are you referring to the crypto market? Because this analysis is on gold, which apparently you could also trade on Fimex. So if you're talking about gold, I think gold is in its distribution phase, right? It's a selling. Accumulation was 2022 literally, and there'll be new accumulation phase maybe somewhere in Q2. I think Q2 Q1 Q2 2027 next year. Gold should accumulate, but now gold is gonna sell. I'm sorry guys, there's gonna be more reasons for gold to sell. But if you're talking about the accumulation, yeah, I think it's ETH. So if you're talking about the accumulation phase for cryptos, I mean, I think that'll be a subject for understanding of when the exact end of the bear market is. But having seen, based on what we were showing you guys, having seen that Ethereum is already close to its end for free, because like we're already at 336 days into the bear market. The previous bear market are like 380 days or so. We just have about 40 days, like 50 days, less than 2 months. This is the reason why you need to really get yourselves positioned, right? Get yourself intentional, get yourself buying, because I must tell you, 1,860, 1,300, they are good accumulation phase, because we still have a good way, 300% for Ethereum to rise. So say Ethereum rises from 1,300, its next stop is going to probably be around $7,000. So that's a very good 350% or above. And I hope that really makes sense to y'all right now. So, I mean, that's it. So yes, if it's about crypto, we are at an accumulation phase. But be strategic. Don't just put your funds on some ridiculous altcoins that could dump 70% more, right? Focus on Bitcoin and, of course, see Ethereum and BNB. And I think you might see Wait Solana, but then maybe Solana. And I think those are the top 5 picks for the week. I want to believe you all really got something today. And if so, please ensure you look forward to our next live session. Join us in this showroom, Bit Show. And turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on every of the live sessions that we have scheduled. And I'm going to be looking forward to having you all guys again. Thank you once again. We're still on the short. If you took the short, it's profits. Know when to get out. Don't wait for me to tell you when to get out. I've already given you all, my thoughts around my probable best point of exit. But anyways, the market is a very, very much critical, quagmire. You don't want to risk yourselves and your profits for the best exits. Stay safe and keep winning. I love you all, and I say thank you for joining me today. Look forward to joining you tomorrow again. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell on a Famex account by downloading Famex, and it's called Fame, F-A-M-E and X. Like, it's a Fame exchange, Famex, and use the code BEATCHASE. There's a link around this video on YouTube, and those of you in chat on iChat, which I'm going to be dropping the link also subsequently for those of you on YouTube, there is a place for you to come join us on our live stream platform on iChat where we have active discussions. I want to appreciate you all for coming. I'm looking forward to having you again tomorrow. It's a very productive 2 hours. Thank you, CC. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you all. Thank you. I appreciate you all for coming. Thank you. See you again tomorrow. Keep winning. Stay safe. And again, until we meet, oh my God, I was meant to, in fact, show you guys this particular promotion. I think you could still see it. Anyways, it's gonna be probably be there. And I want to say thank you all for coming. Thank you. Anyways, we'll meet again very much soon. All right. Any questions on my end? All right. No. Appreciate we'll meet again too. It's gonna be fire tomorrow. Tell a friend to join us here. It's Beat Chase. We chase every bit of the market and we make the most of the profiteering. See you tomorrow. Stay safe. Keep winning. Bye.